What if you could activate your dormant stem cells to help your body heal itself without a single drug or chemical? Today, we're finding out how. Hi, I'm Sandy Bobal-Zuniga, the founder of Colorado Springs Town Tidings. Be in the know on the go for all things Colorado Springs, delivered right to your inbox. Today, I'm happy to welcome Kathy McGuire from LifeWave. This company is revolutionizing the wellness industry with a patented light activated technology designed to help you live long, live well, and live young. Kathy is a passionate local advocate for holistic health, and she's here to share how this incredible breakthrough works. Welcome to the show, Kathy.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here.
Great. Well, before we dive into anything, I'm curious. Can you give us a little background on yourself? And also, are you a Colorado Springs native or did you come from somewhere else? Kind of give us a little bit of what was Kathy like growing up?
Oh, that's so much fun. Yes, I am a Colorado Springs native. Born right here in Penrose Hospital. Grew up in town for the first 8 years of my life and then got to move to Black Forest where I actually had horses my whole life and got to live the rural life out there. Graduated from Air Academy High School and have stayed in the area all but 10 years. I did move to Texas for 10 years and then realized I needed to come back. So it's great. Um, my career was in education. I absolutely loved it. I got to teach English as a second language at the high school level and just had an amazing experience with so many students from all across the world, helping them learn English at the high school level. And that's kind of tough sometimes because we had kids who would come in as freshmen who couldn't say a word of English, and we had to have them ready to graduate in 4 years. So it was amazing. I'm still in touch with some of those students. It's so much fun um, to be there. So fast forward, like I said, I've grown up here my whole life and absolutely love it.
So these teaching English in the high school level, these are people that or kids that came from other places and got placed into the Colorado Springs school districts?
Correct. A
Wow.
lot of them were refugees during wars, going back like Bosnia, Croatia, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, all of these different places. Refugee students were brought, refugee families actually were brought in here. We did have a lot of Hispanics and a lot of other countries as well, but at one point we had over 50 languages in our program.
Oh, wow. And so how did you communicate with them? I'm assuming you don't know 50 languages.
No, I
What?
don't. No, I don't. Um, it's like you were playing charades, especially with the little ones, because you had, or the younger ones who had less knowledge and less language. It was like playing charades. You had to mimic things, and they had to learn to mimic you even from the beginning. Hello, my name is your, yeah, I mean, we started at that level with a bunch of them. Um, and so they had to learn English. I didn't always know what their languages were, of course, but we would use we did a lot of pictures, we did a lot of drawing, we did a lot of acting out. Yeah, sometimes I think about it was America's Funniest Home Videos doing prepositions, getting on top of something and then getting underneath something so that they could understand the words. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Wow. So I'm just going to assume that you are a master communicator then.
I try to be. When you're working with ESL kids, you have to learn how to simplify everything to make it to the simplest level that they can understand and then build on it afterwards. So I try. Yes.
Yes, that and it's a skill for sure. And that also assuming helps you in other areas in your life. And as we get older and also more experience and interact with different people with different personalities, I have a feeling this was a piece that probably put you ahead of the rest of us
You
in
know,
trying.
and it was really a blessing because it did. It also helped me see processes because I had to figure out the process of learning a language, and then you can apply that to anything. You break things down, and so I've become very process oriented about a lot of different things too.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about LifeWave. And I'm just wondering, out of curiosity, what personal health journey led you to discover LifeWave, and how did it transform from a solution to becoming your passion, as I know you are very passionate about it?
That's great. Well, my let me start with my holistic journey. So, I was always a little bit on the healthy side. I wanted to be healthy and didn't like going to doctors much unless it was absolutely necessary. And then when my youngest daughter was 2, she developed a serious reaction to her DPT and MMR shot, as well as developing a more serious reaction to the antibiotic once she got off of it. And so from then on, I decided we were doing everything we could holistically, that medical would be the last resort. We would, I knew when I needed to take the kiddos to a doctor, but we really, really worked on being holistic. So fast forward, my kids are all very healthy. We've lived a pretty healthy life. It also helps that we've been outside a lot, and we have horses and different things. You're outside all the time, and that really kept us healthy too. So then, a year ago, last fall, a friend of mine presented the LifeWave uh, patches to me and explained that it was great for helping our bodies heal themselves, all those different things. And I went, I don't need that. I'm too healthy. And so it took me a few months to finally give in and say, okay, I'm going to try this. And actually, I started it more for my horse than for me.
Oh,
He
really?
was, yeah, he was kind of having health problems, and in 24 hours, I saw he was drinking the amount of water he needed. In 2 months, his ulcers in his gut had healed. His whole personality had changed. You check a horse's top line to see where they're tender, and that had all really, really healed. I do have to say that I did go ahead and put him down because he had pretty bad arthritis, and I know if I had found these patches earlier, I could have helped him more with that, but I couldn't watch him in pain. So I did go ahead and put him down. But then I started on my own journey, and I realized that in a short amount of time, I was sleeping better. Um, it took me 3 months to realize that I wasn't jumping out of bed a couple of times a week with leg cramps. My If I got up in the morning, I knew I had to eat real fast, or I would go into the shakes and sweats and stuff. That's all gone away. My blood sugar is now stable. Different things like that. My floaters have gone away in my eyes, and
Really?
yeah, and all the time I thought I'm healthy enough, I don't need this patch, but it has made quite a difference in my life. When I started seeing these things happen, I just really did develop a passion for it because I saw people around me who could use this patch and who it could help. And it's so simple. And nothing is going into your body but your own light. And so that's a pretty cool process as well.
Huh. Interesting. So basically, you started it out with your horse and saw some results, and then you and went ahead and said, "Hey, there were some good results. Let me try it myself."
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting because usually people go for themselves. But so these patches, how big are they?
They are just a little bit past bigger than a quarter. They're just real small. You just put them on your body. You can put them on anywhere on your body. You leave it for 12 hours, you take it off.
Okay, so it's not a 24/7, 365 thing.
Correct. So what you do is you put it on your body for 12 hours, usually during the day, and then you let your body rest and relax and also start healing on its own during the night.
Oh, interesting. So many people are skeptical about the patch technology, and
Yes.
usually when in the medical Western medicine, when you have the patches, it is delivering medication, prescriptions, or something like that. So can you explain with LifeWave in simple terms, which I know you
Yeah.
know how to do this,
Yeah.
how light activates stem cells without anything entering the body, and the fact that it's a patch, so it's got a covering. How is light coming through if that is even what it does? I'm confused. Can you help me out
Sure.
here?
Sure. All right. So, first, to explain the patch a little bit, and then I'm going to go into the founder of it. So, our bodies give off light. We know that. For example, you've heard of night vision goggles. They can pick up the heat and light that people give off. And so, our founder, whose name is David Schmidt, has been a scientist for years. And in 2008, he realized that stem cells, peptides, all those words were the buzzwords, and he decided to start looking into those. He had created other patches for energy, for glutathione, for other things. And so he partnered with the University of Ireland, put 4.5 million of his own dollars into the research to figure out how to stimulate our stem cells because by the time you hit 30, sad to say, our stem cells are about 50% dormant. By the time you get to my age, they're pretty well gone. So we need to reactivate those stem cells so that they can then do their job. So it took them again several years, almost 10 years, to come up with this patch and be able to create it. What it does is it just has nanoparticles, nanocrystalline, and amino acids, and a couple other things in it, just naturally occurring substances that refract your light, your own light, back into your own body. It's incredible. And so then what happens is when your own light goes back into your own body, it reactivates your stem cells. It also activates the GHK-Cu, which is the copper peptide, which is a big peptide. Lauren Picard researched it in 1973 and found out how important the copper peptide was in our body. So this refracts your own light back into your system. I like the way one of our doctors who is also sharing the patch with people, he explained it as stem cells are immature cells that morph into the kind of cell that your body needs most. So if your body if you're having gut issues or if you're having brain issues or MCL or ACL or something like that, and that's the biggest issue in your body, the body knows how to morph your stem cells into the cell that it needs, and then it starts healing your body. It's incredible.
Interesting. So if I'm getting this correct,
Uh-huh.
let's see if my feeble brain can put this in terms that I might know. I do know that there are things in the body like adaptogens. When we take the adaptogen supplements, I'm a big fan of ashwagandha. That's one
Yes.
of them, but there are others. So adaptogens are supplements you take. They're natural, and it adapts to your body. So if you are tired and you need more energy, you would might take that supplement and it gives you energy. If you're wired, can't sleep and everything, you could take the same supplement and it will calm you down. For me, ashwagandha, I've never had to increase my energy. It's always calmed me down. But I know that it can do, and there are other ones out there. I don't want to name them and get them wrong,
Right.
but there are plenty of them out there. And maca is another.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, I know that there are things that you can do or supplement or add that does change it. So that kind of goes along the way of the patch and the stem cells kind of going where it's needed. It kind of finds in your body what is missing or what is needed, and then kind of, it sounds like it kind of supports that particular system, because we're all different, and you might have gut issues, I might have insomnia,
Mhm.
and the whole gamut. So with this, it sounds like it's kind of an adaptogen. It kind of goes where it is. If I'm putting it in very layman's terms, I am
Yes.
not, I'm not in the business. I don't know much about it, but like I said, in this little brain of mine, it's trying to connect the dots, and it kind of is similar in my head. Now,
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think that's a great analogy. Although the only thing that's going into our body with the patch is our own light, but it is adapting. That's a good way to put it. Let me give you one story.
Sure.
I have a little
We love stories.
27-year-old. Yeah, I'm full of stories. They're just so amazing. So a little 27-year-old came and she has shoulder issues. So she came and used the patch because she's in continual pain. So she got on the patches. About 6 weeks later, she contacts me and writes me this text, and she goes, "My energy level is better. I am liking life better. I am sleeping better." She goes, "This patch," she goes, "I expected this patch to change my shoulder first." She said, "But you told me that this patch would work on the biggest need in my body. Obviously, I did not realize it, but I was in a serious depression, and this patch has brought me out of that depression." She said, "My shoulder still needs some attention, but," she goes, "if my happiness is the only thing I got out of this patch, I'm good."
Wow.
So she did not understand that her hormonal system, her emotional system was what was holding her back as well. So, it may take a little bit longer, but we are planning on her shoulder healing up. We've had a lot of cases of like locked shoulder opening up and different things and healing like that too. But for some reason, her body needed the emotional and the hormonal healing first.
Right. That's interesting. I I do have this thought now, because I am older, is
Hmm.
we just don't know what life's gonna bring us. And the control is an illusion.
Yes.
I used to, when I was younger, I had to be in control of everything.
Yeah.
That's not the case. And so with that, I am kind of open to what kind of the journey, or what's happening, and paying attention. And it sounds like she was not even in tune with what was going on, but yet this has helped her bring us something to her that could help something that she needed. And once you unlock something like that, I've suffered from depression my entire life, chronic depression. So I can understand that, but I'm well aware of it. So with that, if you can get the clouds and clear that a little bit, then the other healing is easier. Not that this is will be for everybody, but that's a great story that touches me, because I can relate. And that's great. And like you said, some things in our bodies have been locked so tight, and we've dealt with the issues for so long, that
Yeah.
it's not going to be an immediate thing. Even if you went to physical therapy or something, it's not going to be like, oh, you go once and you're fine. You're going to go for months, maybe years, and still maybe or maybe not get the relief, or maybe it's temporary. So thinking that something like this might be an immediate fix is not realistic in general, but that doesn't mean it's not what you need to help you.
Exactly. And, as with supplements, sometimes you take supplements, you do not know immediately that they are helping your body.
Yep.
So, but clinical studies have shown that even though we don't have the outer appearances or the outer feelings, the clinical studies have shown that your body is healing in some area. You may just not know what that is. Um, One of the greatest event or statistics is that after about 6 months on average of using the patch on a consistent basis, your heart reverses in age an average of 8 years. And that is clinically studied. They have tested that to see. So that's pretty interesting. But who would know that my heart is reversed in age? 8 years, you know?
Right. And how many times in general we're supposed to go to the doctor once a year and get our blood work and all that. And even if you're just holistic, you also need to get blood work just to make sure that you're in ranges, even though the holistic community has their ranges are a little bit different than Western medicine. But
Right.
you also, for your body, you need to check things regardless of which way you go, Eastern or Western, or a combination. I'm a combination, but I always try the holistic first because in my mind, not that we don't have anything against Western medicine. It's here for a reason and it does its job and it helps plenty of people. You and I like to go the holistic first. And for me, it's because in my experience and just watching what's happening, I don't want to mask symptoms or just treat symptoms. I don't want to be on medication for the rest of my life. I
Mhm.
don't want to have a problem for the rest of my life. And I refuse, whenever I go to a doctor or even the eye doctor, dentist, you name it, they always say, yeah, well, that you're aging. I refuse to accept that. I'm like, yes, but that doesn't mean we all fall apart at a certain age and stuff. No, I don't buy it. So for me, I like to get to the root of the problem. And if we
Yes.
can solve that, or if we can address that enough where the symptoms aren't showing, that's where I want to go. I don't want to just mask symptoms. I want to get right to the root. Let's handle that and then
Mhm.
move on. So
I'm
that
I'm exactly on the same page. I say that all the time. I refuse to accept the fact of my age. I'm just like, nope, nope, we're not going there.
I know it's like there's got to be something. I go back to in 2012, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I'm like, I'm too young for this. And I did have to get Western intervention.
Mhm.
At the time, I didn't have that mind body connection strong enough, but I did try holistic first and get tests, and things weren't changing, and I was so frustrated. And at that point, you can't get that connection. You can't do things. I mean, miracles happen. There are some people who rely on the mental, the prayer, and all that stuff, and their cancer goes away. Very far and few between, but it does happen, and so it's possible. It just wasn't for me. So I did go through that, but I was I felt too young to have gotten this, and also, when I went to the oncologist, this was an oncologist that was a lawyer and then a an oncologist, and her mom and sister died of the same cancer.
Oh,
And
wow.
so she came in there and told me, basically giving me an expiration date. And I'm like, first of all, nobody's giving me an expiration date, and I'm going to make my decisions. I'm going to live the best I can, but don't give me one because I'm not on your timeline. I'm going to figure this out. Now, crazy or not, and I am crazy, that's just the way I was. And I'm on the other side of it and did things, but that's when people tell me, "Oh, you're just aging, you just have to live with it." I go back to that and I go, "Don't put a toe tag on me yet."
Yeah. I fully agree. I fully agree. There's a sad statistic that's coming out that has come out just recently, and the fact is that we are living longer, but the sad part is the average is the last 8 years you cannot live without help.
Right.
That's pretty sad, and I want to fight against that. I
I
like you
agree.
said, I'm not accepting that, you know. people will say, well, by that age, so and so. No, I refuse. I'm not accepting that. And so this patch has created a way. In fact, David Schmidt talks about that it's age reversing, just like we talked about your heart. Even though we don't feel it, even though we don't know what's going on, it is changing our body slowly but surely and giving us that additional health that I really, really want. So,
Yeah, and it also helps with all the medical bills and everything later on
yes.
because as you get older and your body starts crapping out, if you want to call it that,
Hmm.
and you just go along with it, you've got all these medical bills. And it's not just our body, it's also our mind. I've seen things
Right.
like dementia and different forms of it. And that is, I've never seen this amount as I have now in my life when I was younger. And I'm like,
Hmm.
this
Yeah.
is not good. So there are so many things going on with our health. It's not just our body in general. It's the
Right.
the whole thing. And all of those people need help, which is a spiraling effect because they need help. People don't have money to put others in the home or assisted living or whatever, depending on how bad they are.
Mhm.
Then it becomes if they have children or somebody, uh, and they don't have something like insurance to get caregivers in, which most don't. There are a few that had foresight, and may or may not use it,
Right.
but then the children have to basically quit their job to be the caretaker. And there may or may not be any money. It's not going to be the money that you get from a job. And it's just a snowball effect. So there's so many things that happen. If we could keep ourselves healthy enough and
Yes.
independent enough, now those things aren't a worry for as we get older. And if it happens to have it, maybe it's the last year or so of our life and
Right.
it's not the impact that it would have for 10 or 20 years that are happening. Just my
Yes.
thought.
No, and I agree with you. One thing I did want to share is we have chiropractors, we have naturopaths, we have nurse practitioners, we have all kinds of doctors and surgeons and anesthesiologists who also are using this. A great example is some of our chiropractors use this as what they call the take-home supplement. So, yes, you need to continue coming into me. We're going to continue our chiropractic process. But if you get on this patch, it's going to start healing your body from the inside as well. So it works together very well with lots of different modalities, lots of different things. Also, not only is this non-transdermal, which nothing goes into your system but your own light, it also does not interact with any other medications. So, for example, we have cases of people who have high blood sugar. I'm not supposed to use the word for that. And but they have issues and they have to take tests and they have to, take insulin and do all these different things. They get on the patch and they have their base marker. They know what those numbers are because they have to be so aware of those numbers. And in a few months, they go back to the doctor, and the doctor will say, we can reduce your medications because for some reason your body is dealing better with this issue. And we've had several cases. We have one lady who's now 83. I think she's gotten off of 15 different medications. And when she started the patch, she had told her daughter she just wanted to die. And her daughter said, just put this patch on. Just put the
Oh,
patch on. And we have pictures of her. She was full of inflammation, so she was very overweight. She's been on the patch now for 3 years. She's 83 now. She started when she was 80. She's up walking around. She has a great life. You would never know how old she is. She's lost that inflammation. She's been able to, like I said, get off of those medications. She's living a great life now.
wow. And especially I have even my dad, I've listened to him kind of in certain situations in his life. He's not in that place right now, But
Hmm.
it's very sad to hear people when it's like, I just want to die, and they're just living the next day, and they don't want to be here, and there's nothing we can do about
Right.
it. And we just want the best for them. So that's interesting. And there, like you were talking about medications for certain diseases, there are there are lifestyle diseases that happen. So things like when you have to take insulin and stuff, there are two different types. We all know it,
Mhm. Right.
where where um, you're not producing insulin and your body is not working, and you need pumps and shots and things like that. That is
Right.
different from the lifestyle one, that because of the lifestyle we have, we've created this
Yes.
inflammation and this resistance and everything. So between the two, it's not saying, I don't think we're not saying that will heal anything in general, but it helps your body work closer to the way it was designed
Correct.
without these other issues. So there's a difference, but there are so many adults out there taking medications because of the lifestyle, and they're not able or willing, for whatever reason, there's no judgment here, to
Mm.
be able to reverse it or do something. And I'll use my dad for an example. I use him all the time. So he had type 2 diabetes, and man, I look at what he's eating and everything, and he's 81 or something, and he is not going to change. He visited, and he must, in 2 weeks or so, he must have went through 5 pounds of butter. I mean, just cooking his eggs, and I don't know how many cartons of eggs and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, I don't eat like this, and he will not change. So he does take medication for type 2 diabetes once a week or something like that, but that's what he chooses. So I'm not going to tell him to change. Yes, he got to 81 by eating this way and stuff, so more power to him. I'm not going to do that. But
Yeah.
it's just, so if it's something like the patch might help, and then maybe not be reliant on some of the other stuff. Not that we're saying abuse your body and do,
Right. Right.
unhealthy.
Yes, definitely. And, of course, even with the patches, with everything we do in our lives, it would be better to make those changes.
Yep.
Better sleep, less sugar, less flour, less wheat, all of those things. Get back to a better lifestyle because we've gotten pretty lackadaisical about how we eat and what we do with our bodies. So yes, that would always support any kind of health and wellness that we're trying to do. I do want to clarify that this is not a medication. And
Correct.
so it is in the health and wellness category. And we always do present a disclaimer that we do not treat or cure chronic sicknesses or diseases. LifeWave phototherapy patches do not heal or cure people, and God designed the human body to heal itself given the right conditions for the body to function at its optimal level. So, what we are doing is supporting the body through health and wellness. And again, we make no claims. We just have stories of what we have seen this patch do as far as helping the body heal itself.
Right. So, and thank you for that. I would hopefully, there's nothing I said that
Oh, no,
would,
not at all.
yeah, would go that, because I know that there's a disclaimer, and just with anything, there's no, that regardless whether it's a prescription, a supplement, or this light therapy, there is no guarantee for any of that, that it will cure anything. And so we're not saying that. What I'm
Yes.
hoping is, with the light therapy, as things come out and your body is reacting to it, I'm assuming, again, here I'm assuming that side effects are minimal, if any, except for the positive ones of
Yeah,
things working better.
that's great. And it is true. It is, again, it's not going to interact with any medication you're taking, so you're not going to have any side effect like that. The one side effect that might happen is if your body needs to detox. And
Ah,
with a detox, you may feel worse for a while before you feel better.
yeah,
So, what I always talk about is you know what your baseline is. You know how you've been feeling for however long. You know what the medications you're on are doing for your body or not doing for your body. You know what your body is doing before you start the patch. And I always make that clear. I want everybody to go through a checklist, kind of write it down. What's my body doing now? So then we can be aware of what's going to happen once you add the patch into your system or into your your protocol. So more often than not, you we do have one patch wonders who overnight have had amazing things happen in their bodies. We didn't get this way overnight, so probably it's going to take a little bit of time.
yep.
But usually sleep is going to be one of the first things you notice. It'll be a deeper sleep. It will
What's
really get,
that?
yeah, exactly. I know.
That's a listen to me.
It's amazing when you finally feel it. Yeah, and get it. So simple little things. Um, but there is a possibility that if your body is full of inflammation, if you have had all kinds of medications or whatever, there is a possibility that you will feel worse for a while before you feel better. What we recommend is please just kind of hang through that because since you know your baseline, you know this patch is doing something. So
Right.
hang with it, get lots of fluids. The only other thing that you really need to do with this patch is drink lots of water and make sure that you get electrolytes of some form.
Oh, interesting.
So, one of the easiest ways to get electrolytes is simply get Celtic sea salt.
Uh-huh.
You can put just a pinch under your tongue a couple of times a day, or you can put it in your water. There are electrolyte patches or things that you can get from the store. Not always the best because they usually have a sucralose or sugar or something else in them.
Yep.
The easiest way again is the Celtic sea salt, or you can find other supplements that are very healthy that can help uh, supplement and stimulate your stem cells or your electrolytes. I'm sorry, not stem cells, yes, but electrolytes to then help your stem cells. So
So why, when you got the patch on, would it decrease electrolytes?
it
Or
doesn't
why would you need
decrease,
more?
yeah, it doesn't decrease the electrolytes, but we want our electrolytes at the optimal level. So we want to make sure because electrolytes help everything in our body work at the cell level. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that it is working at the best possible. So that's one reason that we recommend um, that you add electrolytes to your water to your diet.
Right. Yeah,
The
and
other,
that's kind of, I believe the electrolytes are kind of like the conduit that allows things, so as frequencies and currencies go, we we have things flowing and then they need to be somewhere, and without electrolytes they don't necessarily connect. So
correct.
so the electrolytes are needed, especially if we're doing the patch, because again, correct me if I'm wrong, it is our own light going through and trying to get to the stem cells,
Hmm.
but it wouldn't, without the electrolytes, it won't be able to have that piece to stimulate them, maybe.
Correct.
Ah,
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it.
that's great. Yeah, that's a great explanation of it. So we want to keep our electrolytes at a very optimal level as well.
Yeah, I don't know how we would know if we are deficient or we need more or if we're okay. You have any clue on that?
That's a great question. No, I do know that some people have said that they feel a little more sluggish without doing some kind of the electrolytes with the patch. But really, there's really, again, no way no way to tell. We just know what from the clinical studies and from all of the studies that David Schmidt has done that we need to stimulate our stem cells through the electrolytes as well. So he's sharing that with us.
So the patch, I think the main one is called X39, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So what's the most surprising or maybe unexpected? And you shared a little, some stories with us, but the unexpected healing result you've witnessed from the X39 patch that made even you think, this can't be real.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have one example. We were at a meeting and this lady won a set of patches and she had a bad knee. So she opens up the patches and she puts one patch on her knee. And by the end of the meeting, you could see that the knee was not as swollen as it was and the pain was already releasing. So
Really?
that's one of the stories we have. I mean, it's just amazing. Stories go, it sometimes takes a while to get to the end of the story because, of course, there are a few one patch wonders. But
Right.
so I'll give you a
That's
story of
not typical. Let's disclaimer, that's not typical results.
exactly. Yeah, that's not typical, but you never know. You just absolutely never know. So another lady went on the patch, and I knew that, she had slowed down a little bit in her life. Called her a month or so after she started, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm doing better." So, but then she comes to a meeting we're having, and she goes into tears because she has gotten her life back. She didn't explain everything to me, but and when she got into the meeting, she said she'd had to stop hiking, she'd had to stop dancing, she almost had to stop walking. And she went on this patch and she even said she got her life back.
Wow.
And now the pain is gone. They can still dance. They go hiking all the time. And I think she's in her 60s, early 60s. And so it
That's
just
too
turned her life
young
around.
to stop your activities. Too young.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So we have,
Wow.
and it also, although it has not been clinically tested on youngsters, on children, there have been a lot of children who are nonverbal, maybe incontinent, maybe incapable of even, functioning too well, and things have happened. Their lives have turned around. We have a little 5-year-old who, after a few months, started talking. There's a
Wow.
19-year-old, yeah, there's a 19-year-old who, again, was nonverbal, started on this X39 patch. It's 2 years later now. He can think through the thought processes first of if I eat, then I have to take my dishes to the sink, I have to rinse them off, and I have to put them in the dishwasher. And that's incredible for someone who was nonverbal and pretty much unable to function. He also now holds down a part-time job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it has made a huge difference in that family's life.
Wow.
I haven't,
So,
go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, so now let's be, because we're all about transparency and
Yes.
authenticity here at Colorado Springs Town Tidings. So, with so many wellness products marketed through network marketing, what convinced you this particular technology was different enough to stand out and to stand behind it in those circumstances?
Mhm. That's exactly it. You put it right. The words you used are exact. I finally saw something that really made a difference. Um, the stories just go on and on and on. And like I said, I was a little skeptical in the beginning, but then once I started seeing things happen, and animals are so fun because they don't have the placebo effect. They're not sitting there questioning the whole time, like people do, like we all do.
Yep.
Um, but I finally found something that number one, no side effects. Number two, had amazing results. And you know what? One of the biggest things for me was I'm so tired of taking pills and supplements. That's so hard for me to just continually take pills. And I didn't have to do that anymore. This is so simple. You just put a patch on. I wear mine on my hand sometimes. You can wear it anywhere on your body. And you just put it on for 12 hours. You live your life and you take it off after 12 hours. And like I said, I've been in holistic things for, well, almost 40 years. And I loved some of the products I used, but I was not willing to stand behind them like I am this one.
Right. And so because this is network marketing, and I know you are okay with it because that's how you get the word out. They get the research and all that. I'm not a fan of it. However, um, if somebody wants to, or is interested and wants to buy the product, you correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have to be in the network marketing aspect of LifeWave. We can just go ahead like we do any other supplements, anything we've seen online. We buy supplements and other things online all the time. Can we go ahead and just purchase like we would anything else and not have to be in the networking marketing part?
Correct. Yes, there is absolutely no pressure in this organization. That's something else that I liked. Um,
Well, we're not like the cosmetic company, we won't say, which does fine, but it's all the parties and trying to get the next person and stuff. You
yeah,
guys aren't like that.
we make it available.
Right.
Okay. We make it available because there is an opportunity to make money, but it is not pushed on you at all. And so you come in, you purchase the products. You have your own website. You can make your own orders. You can take your own orders. You can change. You can do whatever you choose to do as far as running this business for yourself. You do not have to run the business or using the products. Put it that way. You can use your own website to do whatever you want to do with your own products. You do not have to share it with anybody. You do not have to do anything. It's a very simple process. We do help you get onto that part, but you can do whatever you choose to do and what's best for you.
So regardless, is there if I want to just buy product from you, do I have to go through a setup and be put into or my own website and an investment up front just to buy patches from you?
Good question. We do ask you to go ahead and get a setup on the website just so we can do your subscriptions and have your information in. But there is no setup fee. There is no maintenance fee. Well, there is a 1 year maintenance fee. After you've been in for a year, there's a $25 membership fee for everybody, whether you are just using the products or whether you are presenting the products. That is it. There is no expense for your website. There is no expense for anything other than just the taxes and shipping and your product.
Okay. That it seems reasonable for sure. As we know, a lot of the other network marketing, they say whether you have to join or not, there's always hundreds of dollars of membership fees just to get products that you want, if you have to be in that. So to get the product for $25 to be in a membership, it seems reasonable to me per year.
And you can order as much or as little as you want. There is no limit.
Okay, cool. So my issue is always the investment in
Yes.
general. Now, of course, with this, if it works, and basically you would say when it works,
Hmm.
is the weighing out the benefits from maybe because your health is much better, now you're not spending on as many doctor visits or prescriptions that, yes, it's covered on insurance, but insurance is expensive. and they're not covering the things that they used to. And again, in my estimate, it's masking symptoms. If it's helping you, great, and you're having a good life, then you do you. But if you weigh
Yes.
those benefits between all of that and you're healthier in general, this investment maybe outweigh and be less than all of the other things. We don't know until we try and see if that works. If it works for you, great. Now you have another path for your health that you didn't have before. And again, you might be saving way more than what you're investing in the patches.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's two sides of the coin. Number one, like you said, is a savings, an investment. If you are feeling better, you're going to use fewer, even supplements. Once we get our health back, we don't necessarily need so many supplements if we're eating right and taking care of ourselves. And I see that it's a cycle. If we can get our health back a little bit, we start doing things that are better for us. We start eating better. We start being more active. We start getting around and doing things. So not only is it a financial benefit, it's also the love of life.
Yeah,
How do we want to live life and how do we want to feel? My heart goes out to these people who are just suffering from different things. I've been so fortunate to have very good health my whole life, but I want to help those people that just, number one, the people that are so frustrated because they can't get healthy when they're trying. Um,
right.
but other people who just have gotten to the end of their rope, as far as the medical profession. And like I said, there is a place for the medical profession. We want
Yeah,
to provide that additional support.
yeah. We're on the same page for sure. So basically, if someone is interested in trying LifeWave but hesitant about the investment in general, what would be the simplest way to experience its benefits firsthand?
We always want people to make a 90-day commitment because, like we said, that not everybody is a one patch wonder. It may take a while to see some differences and to see some variation. If you come in as a preferred customer, that again is just a customer, as it says, you get a 90-day refund. So you could get your patches refunded if you're feeling like nothing's happening in the 90 days.
Right. So you mentioned before that, like with supplements and other things, you don't always have to take as many. With these patches, once you've done 90 days or however period of time, is it possible to not have to do it every day or not have to have it on for as long? Or is it this basically maintenance? You you keep it up all the time.
That's a great question. So, no studies have been done as far as um, how long it would take our stem cells to go back to the dormant state if we stopped using the patches. So, for that reason, we do consider it maintenance. Most of the people that I've talked to that have had these, especially that have had these amazing results, they're going, I'm never getting off this patch because I don't want to go back to where I was. They see the difference. And again, like I said, no clinical studies have been done. We do have other people who have gotten off the patches for a while and go, okay, I'm going back, you know.
Right,
Um, but yeah, pretty much they consider it not only is it going to help improve your health because it's helping your body heal itself, but it's also going to help maintain because we do know that the tendency is, well, it's not even a tendency, it's the fact that our
right.
stem cells are going to go dormant again if we're not supporting them.
How long does it take? Did they do studies on how long it takes to stimulate stem cells that, as you said, after 30, we basically don't have as many or at some
Mhm.
point, not much. Is
So
there a study for that?
yeah, there's some good information. Within the first 48 hours, 4,000 genes reset in
Oh,
your system. Again, like I said before, in 6 months, your heart has reversed in age about 8 years. Um, and what was the other part I was going to say? I just forgot. Could you repeat the
About the
question?
stem cells, how long it takes to
Correct.
activate them, because we don't have the opposite
Correct.
study.
So yes, so the other thing was the recommendation is that you use the patches 1 month for every decade of life. And so, for example, I'm 71. Needed to use the patches for 7 to 8 months, which I'm at a year and I'm still seeing changes. I'm not going to give up. My floaters, I just noticed a few months ago, so I would have missed that if I had stopped the patches. Different things like that. So, yeah.
That intrigues me because I started getting them and I went to this was after I saw the eye doctor, but I let them know and they're giving me the typical it's age and those come and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Not that you're saying it's curing it, but I'm intrigued now. I want to try it just to see what these things that are going on with me, if there's any change. I am one that I will experiment, not with the legal stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take any drugs. I don't smoke. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink coffee. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm somewhat clean. I do sugar, but I try and reduce that a
Yeah.
little bit. But I still, when there's something that could possibly help my health, and I don't have to be reliant on um, the medical side in general, because now at my age, every time I go, all I'm getting is it's you're old, you're getting
Yeah.
old, and I don't like that. And also the other thing, which I'm curious about in general, um, because I'm at the age of menopause, and because I had breast cancer, I'm not allowed to take any hormones. And now they say that it's good to have estrogen therapy and everything. They originally said that's a no-no, and now they came out with studies saying it's good. Well, I'm not a candidate because of what I had. They say I can't. So even if these studies say it's good and you should have that hormone replacement therapy, I can't. Now, I'm not saying Life Force will go ahead and magically give me the hormones, but I'm really, really curious on these symptoms and things that I'm having, even though I'm trying to take supplements to combat it. I'm curious if this would have any effect. And then I'm still not in that danger zone where I've got the hormones that might trigger more cancer or something. And I'm not saying that Life Wave cures any of that. I'm just saying for my own body,
Mhm.
I am now intrigued and curious to see if there's any change. If there's not, fine, but if there is, holy cow, that could be a game changer.
Yes, definitely. Well, I go back to the 27-year-old. That was definitely a hormone issue. That was a stress issue, a depression issue, and it turned her around. So I think it can do it for us older ones too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Especially when we're getting absolutely no help anywhere, and everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a stats, and they've got what you should do, and then you go like with anything in life. There's always the counteractive. It,
right.
we get like eggs are bad for us. We should never eat them, and then we get
Eggs are
eggs are
good.
good. Yeah, and coffee and this, that, and it's just like, oh, the controversy is just drives me nuts. So
Yes.
I'd rather take all of that out. And again, you and I, don't tell me I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm still capable, and I don't want that. So how can people find you, Kathy?
Well, they can contact me by my phone number. That's the easiest way. They can also
What's your phone number? You have to give
seven
it to
one
us.
yeah, here you go. 719 337-4589. Okay. That is the best way. We do have a website that gives information, but it also refers you back to me anyway. So that's the best way to contact me.
Okay. And what is the website? If they're just looking for information, they can't buy anything from it. It's just more information.
More
And
information, yes. It's called thisisitinfo.com. I know. I need a sign up here. I should have a sign. Yes,
it's so non-discreet.
I know. I know.
It's kind of like when people order those intimacy things or whatever, and they come in
Yeah,
that brown paper bag
brown
or
paper
something. I
bag.
don't know.
Exactly. Well, our team is called the This Is It team. So that's where they got it. So thisisitinfo.com.
All right, this is it. This is all you need. This is the info.
This is it. Yeah.
So give me your phone number again, 719.
337-4589.
Okay. And then are you on social media at all?
Yes, you could find me in Facebook, Kathy McGuire.
Okay.
And the last name is Maguire.
Okay. Some people just don't want to pick up the phone and call, so I'm trying to
Exactly.
give them
I know.
other ways that they might be able to at least ease into, hey, I got some questions.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best way probably to find me. So,
Okay. So they can call you or text you on that number if they want more
yeah.
information. It's the thisisItinfo.com.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think we've got that. So Kathy,
Mhm.
was there anything else? Maybe we talked about a lot and we went down a couple rabbit holes, which was great.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you would like people to know or that maybe we haven't covered that you want to get out in this
Hmm.
interview?
I guess one time I was at a networking meeting or a networking organization with a lot of different people, and one guy said, "You need to figure out what your niche is, my niche."
Yeah,
Well, what's interesting is everybody has stem cells.
right.
So my niche depends on the audience I'm talking to because, yes, it's great for us who are 30, 40, 50, and older, but it also is amazing for injuries. It's amazing for our little kiddos who have mental and health issues, different things going on in their lives. It has just helped across the board as far as different things and animals, like I said.
Yeah.
So we've seen all kinds of healing with animals, also with dogs. Also, you can take your patch off after you wear your patch for 12 hours and you can put your patch on your dog or cat's collar. We've had dogs have cataracts healed. They were almost blind. Their cataracts went away. Uh, Yellow Lab could climb up the stairs after a few weeks on the patch. And we had one dog who was totally neurotic and she started sleeping through the night by just having the patch on her collar. It does not have to actually be touching your skin. So even for kiddos who have sensitivity issues, you can actually put this patch on their clothes. One
Huh.
person put the patch underneath their son's sheets because she didn't want him to know at all that the patch was being used, and it was close enough to activate it from his body light that they saw huge results.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That seems like voodoo.
I know, I know. It does, but it's true. It's true. And so it helps our kiddos who have sensitivity issues. People go, "Well, there's nothing I can do. I can't put a patch on my child because they can't handle it." Put it on the inside of their collar, put it in a pocket, whatever. There is enough light coming out of your body to activate the patch. So it's amazing.
Interesting. Okay, well, this was very informative, Kathy, and you've got me intrigued in general. So thank you for sharing how LifeWave is using light technology to help people tap into their body's natural healing abilities. Every innovative solution starts with someone caring enough to share it with others, and I appreciate you bringing this to our community.
Thank you so much, Sandy. It's been wonderful.
You're welcome. And for those watching or listening, if you'd like to learn more about Lightwave, you could either just get general information at thisisitinfo.com. But for better results to answer your questions, Kathy is definitely happy to answer any questions, talk with you, discuss. If you've watched this interview, then you have some information already. If it's intrigued you like it did me, call her at 719-337-4589 or text her. If you don't want to call, text her. She's really good about getting back to you. And for those of you who want to discover more inspiring stories and innovative solutions from our local businesses, subscribe to Colorado Springs Town Tidings at cos.towntidings.com. I'm Sandy Bobal-Zuniga, celebrating our city one business at a time, and I'll see you next week. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Sandy. Bye-bye.